Hello all. Today as part of the tech chat session, we will discuss about the compliance. How the compliance makes our DevOps life easier. What is the importance of the compliance in the DevOps world. I'm Ampli. I'm a DevOps practitioner and an Azure architect, focusing mainly on the DevOps area. So coming to today's session, Azure Compliance, how we can do the compliance automation as part of the DevOps pipeline. Most of the time we talk about DevSecOps as security as part of the DevOps, but miss the importance of the compliance angle. Compliance consists of security. Apart from security, it talks about the standard defined by the enterprises as well. Chef Inspect is a technology or the tool which is released from Chef. It's an open source library set available for anyone to automate the compliance. So compliance automation will help us to enable the compliance testing in an earlier life cycle itself. Instead of waiting for testing the compliance in the environment, test it in an earlier phase as part of your build or as part of your release pipeline itself. So today we concentrate on the Chef Inspect and how the GitHub actions combined together help us to do an Azure compliance automation. GitHub, one of the community supported DevOps orchestrator, and it's become the mainstream DevOps tool, brings the flexibility to create custom actions. So how we can integrate the Chef Inspect test or the compliance test as part of a GitHub action. The overall scenario is this one, where the source code is managed in our GitHub repos and build automation is done by the GitHub actions and release management also done by GitHub actions. And we are targeting currently the Azure as an environment. When we set up this ecosystem, as GitHub has an additional advanced security concept, so we encourage to do the security testing in terms of SAST or DAST or the SC as part of the build and release management angle. But compliance always takes the last seat and it will be done in the environment when it's deployed, either the infrastructure team or the operational team or the monitoring team who do the compliance test, and it's very manual based testing. How we can take it into our build automation itself? So we are trying to create a GitHub custom action which brings the compliance testing written by Chef Inspect as part of our build automation step itself. So let us quickly go to a demo. This is the Azure Compliance action. If you go to the My GitHub repository, you can see Azure Compliance action and all the details are listed here. It's a custom action based on composite custom action principle of GitHub, and the same is available as part of the GitHub marketplace. You can check it in the marketplace also under the security category, security and testing category. Azure Compliance Checker, this is the action published here. And the same kind of detailed explanation is provided. It's an open source component. Anyone can integrate with their GitHub CI/CD pipeline. And the corresponding test, we have separated the test from the action. The test is available in another repository in Inspect Azure Compliance Check. This is the second repository where we have all the tests corresponding to the Azure Compliance Automation. It is under development. Currently it targeted the test as part of this Azure web application. There are 4 different compliances which is normally enabled by any enterprises. you need to have a web application authentication enabled. The certificate, if it is an HTTPS, it should be valid certifier, and all the frameworks, whatever the framework you use, it should be the latest framework, and TLS should be 1.2 minimum. So this is targeting the Azure web application. Storage account, we enabled 3 of the tests, HTTPC only, encryption enabled, and the keys periodically change. If the keys are not, tokens are not changed within last 90 days, the test fails. So this is in progress repository, and expect the community to contribute here to enable a baseline compliance test which can be used by all the community members. So the test, the custom action contain one of the inspect profile which check just whether the resource group exists or not. That is just for ensuring that once you integrate your action, you can do the initial testing. If it is not passed any of the test, it will be done the basic sample test case. So the integration will be done through, you need to provide the subscription ID, client secret, and tenant ID. Based on GitHub principle, we expect these details are provided as secrets. From your secrets repo, you can provide these things. The last one, the compliance test profile URL is optional parameter. If you are providing only these 4 data, then it will test the initial sample test available as part of the action to ensure that your configuration is correct. Then you can plan to share this profile URL, either the profile which I have shown, the community developed Azure compliance check, this one you can pass, or you can write your own compliance automation using Chef Inspect and pass that URL to this one for testing. So it's a simple integration. You use the action, provide the Azure details, and how to get these details are explained in above. How to log into Azure portal and get each of the items, the client ID secrets are explained here, and what's the importance of all the parameters. The last one is not an option required field. So let us see how it is integrated in one of the pipeline. So I am just editing. It's not done. It's a workflow on push, or I can trigger the workflow. I'm just removing this one and only passing the required parameters, that's Azure credentials, and committing this workflow. Let's start the sample test. So let us go here. There is a update main. The workflow is triggered already. It takes around 20 seconds to complete the workflow. Meantime, I am opening the code and doing the editing in a separate window. So next I am passing the parameter as well, which contain the test corresponding to Azure Web App and the storage account. So let us see, it is completed the test. If you go inside, you can observe that there is a compliance action is executed, and the inspect is installed, and there is a sample test. It's nothing but it's checking whether Azure resource group exists or not. So that is passed. So there is only one control, one test. You can see the test summary details here. The initial action, the test details are coming here, the result. We are planning to release the second version where the test result will be uploaded as an artifact which will be available after the build. So let us pass our test right now and commit this one. This will trigger again the execution of the workflow. This time it executes our defined test, that is a web app and the storage account. And this action is available in the marketplace under security and testing. You can use it from here. So let us see how it is going on. It's taken 17-18 seconds. It takes around 30 seconds to complete the entire testing. Yeah, it's failed. So the failed because the compliance is failed. I have some web application not meeting this one. So for explaining this scenario, if you see the storage account test, it tested, it is HTTPS traffic only done. Encryption is enabled, that is also there, and it should be expected the access token is recently generated. But when it comes to web application, the expected property attribute, that is authentication angle, it is not enabled, but the latest ASP.NET component is used. So the framework is used is latest, that test is passed, but the other two is failed. So total 2 controllers, 1 controller passed, the other is failed, and overall 5 successfully tests completed, 2 are failed. So total 7 tests. Thank you. This is all about the Azure Compliance Automation using GitHub and Chef Inspect. You can go ahead and use the custom action available in the marketplace.